Busting the world's oldest conspiracy by revealing the first writer's formats in the Bible. Have you ever wondered who is editing the Bible? These are some of the words written by the 1611 King James translators that are wrote in its preface. They state 4 reasons how anyone can re-edit the text in the Bible. Their third reason is by the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next arrow down points to them writing, a great clerk Gregory is the divine, spelt with a capital D. At the bottom, they will tell you by studying the Bible, your reward is to have a participation in a heavenly nature. Whereas the Bible's words should be telling you how to be obedient to our Creator to enter into heaven. Now you know by their own words, they are not the good guys editing the Bible. Here, let me show you the 12 commandments that are listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Surprising, isn't it? Now let me show you how I changed one word in Exodus chapter 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and now you know that these planks make the hip roof for the tent for meeting for Yv. Why did I just use 2 letters for our Creator's name? Well, Hebrews did not have the letters J, O, or W in their language. Therefore, I am closer when I say the letters YV in English than anyone else. It is better to learn how to pronounce these 2 letters in Hebrew. Our Creator made me see them 8 times, and these videos are my recording of how and why I am re-editing their text. Then all these books that I am editing will be made into one book in order. In my YouTube description, it has our Creator's hidden formats in a PDF of the same text. In fact, it is a message to everyone today and in the future. I have also made many different styles from these hidden formats for copyright reasons. This is the last chapter I've done, which should be chapter 5, I believe, and this will be chapter 6. And what we have here is there was a 4-verse format, and what I am doing is revealing the hidden formats in the Hebrew text. And they usually changed in these books, these earlier ones, they're changing, when the story changes, it goes from a 3-verse to a 4-verse. So in a 4-verse, I use, in all the verses, I use 2 major words and connect them with the least amount of words in between. Okay? And sometimes I have to add because they have the wrong word there, and that's what I do with the gray text. So as you can see, that's how I get the verses. Now, the verses here, this verse and this verse actually make a sentence and repeats. Okay, now the two of them together will make a small paragraph, and they also repeat that same format with text that is so close to the text above or connected to, it becomes one larger paragraph when you read them together. That's why you'll see I have a double space between the text. Now what I am doing is I'm recording these for history, so when somebody says, what did he do, how did he do, what did he mean by when he did this, well, that's what I'm doing here. So at some time I will be having all the books put together that I know are truthful, and I will have all the Hebrew text in the formats in, hopefully, is the best order I can put them, because sometimes the stories overlap or they would read it differently. You got to understand that something was happening about at the same time this other king, because when you look at the king's timeline, there's all these kings that are happening at this king's time. So they'll have stories of mentioning different kings at different times, and then they'll have their own stories. So it's kind of like, how do I mesh that together? That's still up to what I need to have done, or do, or figure out. Right now, Elijah is a prophet at these 2 kings, and he is in Israel, the nation Israel. Now, these kings, anyways, Elijah was just before this king here. It seems like Elijah maybe passed away at this time under this king. Now, what also happens is that you need to know is what am I talking about is, whoops, gotta go. The nations Israel are this and this right now, but there is a problem because right now the text has this part of Israel missing because Aram took it over. This was the kingdom for Aram, or the Armenians, and they came down, and they've also been battling here, so I'm not sure whether they won this or not. I don't know that. It sounds like they did according to this text. The what I mean by that, by the revealing of the first writer's formats here. So before, in our creator's hidden formats, that didn't appear. No, there are no sons of prophets. It depends on how you view a true prophet and how you understand I would say 90% of the prophets are male virgins. Let me put it that way. And the only one that I really know is Daniel, because the prophecy showed up through Daniel's son will come, Jesus. Now, if you're here for the first time, I better put up Psalms off to the side, and you can see Psalms that I have done, and those are showing text about Jesus. I think I got about 30 of them in that slide, so it'll take a while to go through all of them. So you might take screenshots to help yourself out, or I put a zip file of all the Psalms that had formats, or of all the videos, I think. Maybe not the ones that didn't have formats, no. The formats that were true or had text that were true, that's in the zip files. So I'll show you how in there it'll have the book that you'll see that there's nothing there. So this is not true. Now, someone said to Elijah, behold, now the place before you, now the place where we are living is too small for us. Let us go to the Jordan, and each of us take from there a beam. Actually, they have to fall the tree. And so what we're talking about is gathering logs. But the problem with this story right now is what you have to do to go to the Jordan and bring something up from the Jordan River. I guess I think I took it. No, I don't want to show you that because that might be copyrighted. If you go on YouTube or Google or another search option from Bing, and what you'll find is that when you cut the land of Israel, and so you can get to look through like a side view, you will find that here is, now this might be in reverse. Oh, whoops. I better take down this for a second. What'll happen is that the land or the sea level is here. Mountains or hill country comes up to about here, about 1,800 feet. And then you got to come down past sea level, another 1,800 feet. But you got to understand that it's on a slope coming down all the way down to here. And then what happens is the Jordan, which is east of the Jordan River, it comes up way up here to a mount up here where it's just flat land. So this dipping down, then coming back up. So you got to almost go like 2,000 feet up on a slope to get this wood from the Jordan River, where you could have gone out to the woods and got the land, got the trees. So now, so this story is not making sense. I'm not going to use that word. Let us make a place, make a home there for ourselves. But that's away from all the markets, everything, to go to the Jordan River, which wouldn't make any sense. Someone said, please, willing to go with your servants or go with us. And they went to, okay, now here's where the tree is, and cut down trees, but that does not make any sense down there. It fell a beam, fell a tree, and the axe head went into the water. Okay, oh yes, okay, now that I'm getting it. I think this story I'm going to throw out. Let me just keep reading here, because it makes no sense. Okay, made it float. The head of the axe head actually fell. Where did it fall? They got fell. It should be fell. Yeah, I'm not going to use this. This doesn't make any sense. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it happens in this. I don't try to put anything untrue into the text. There's no understanding or meaning for the words. Now, there might be a format there, and if there is, it actually is saying that those would have been some of the first words that they edited into the text for their God by just coming up with this story and putting it there. And the ones that first started destroying the text knew it was written in columns, and they went and just had to start remaking the stories in columns and started adding extra things into there. Now here's the group Aram, and I showed you where that is at. Was warring. Was to battle. Where will be my camp? But this been Elijah was sent to the king for Israel. Saying, beware that you do not pass. The Armenians are coming down there. Why would he be worried about them coming down there are setting up their camp there when they're coming there to battle. Why is that? Doesn't sound like they're going to go to war. It's like, now again, this land was to be fought for. So if this story goes to the story that we have here, this is going to go back to Ahab, who dies here in the battle. But no, he's told them to go there because he's going to die. So why warn them at that time? So when is this text actually taking place? And he guarded himself there more than once or twice, which doesn't mean, that doesn't make any sense. That actually it would have been setting up an ambush that they're bypassing. That would make more sense. But the object is the story is not making sense now. Because now he's going to tell him Elijah the prophet is telling the king of Israel. And this we don't need in here. That'll never make it. Is in Doeth. So this can't be Isaiah or Elijah, because I don't know where this city is at. So where would I? No, see, they want to say it's Elijah, and it can't be. So now what this tells me is it's not this king, but it's going to be this king. It's going to be this king here. Because his dad did die here somewhere in Gad. And Ramoth, I know, is there. This is just my location for Ramoth. I put all these places by what's said in the text. So let me get rid of this. Let me get the other one. So it's here, somewhere here. And he set up an ambush for him, and they kept going past it. So it has to be on like a major road that they should be traveling on, going back and forth. So it's like he's setting up a raid here, and that's to capture when you didn't think it would be any place. So it's kind of like, and these roads, these are the best ways to travel and get over the Jordan River. I'm sure they had a bridge here, and down here they'd have to have a bridge going over here, and there's probably a bridge someplace in here, along here, different places to go back and forth. But the story is telling me that this is an ambush, and it's got to be on a well-traveled road. And this could be Elijah then. Okay, so now that I've got an idea what's going on here. I like the word battling, and that way I don't need words like this. Battling Israel. Now, the other thing is, wait a second, I got to show you this because they were fighting up here as well, but they didn't take them over here. They tried to take these two territories. So he lost down here, but here they didn't take. So it would be that there's someplace in here along this major road. So could it be over here is where this is taking place? I'm going to put a man, captains. His captains. Saying such and such a place will be my camp. Here is the place. But this still doesn't make sense because he's going to send. Look, I think I'm going to throw this story out for the simple fact. I know I had a hard time putting this story in, or I got it in Creator's Everlasting Promises by his format, our Creator's format. Because this is where it's got to say, here I'll put a place that we can ambush. But the story is saying here that they avoided it, and then he asked them, where's this prophet living, or where this prophet is at, who is telling them he's going to go to that place here, and then Elijah's going to, so far right now, Elijah is going to ask him to cover their eyes so they can't see what's going on, or kind of make them believe whatever he's telling them is what they're seeing and having the vision of. Because one of his people go out and then they see him all around him, and then what he's going to do is see that they may see, and then that they're going to open up their eyes then, or his eyes, and he's going to see all these angels, not horses and chariots of fire, around Elijah, around Elijah's home. And that's not going to be Elijah, by the way. Strike these people with blindness. So, and then he's going to take them to Samaria. So how does this actually happen? Okay, again, the story's not making real sense here because Samara is here. This is Samara. Why are they that deep in the territory? Now this means that they had invaded here. And the city, this is like a 3 miles, 4 miles distance here. Maybe it's 10 miles distance from the end of this river here. The end of this river here to here, roughly 10 miles. And I know there is no bridge going across it. The story at some time coming up, and that's for this king, that the guard on the hill is seeing the riders come up from here and come to here. So if they've come into this area, why would they be ambushing them? They're going to go here, so they're going to go around the ambush and go this way to battle them. But there is no text ever at all saying they went into Azekara. But if they are battling over here, and he's avoiding the ambush over here, then he can send people this way around to Elijah, who has to be on this side of the city. And then he just leads them into the city, because it's got to be within like a quarter mile to get here from house there, because Elijah is sometimes inside the city when he's talking or prophesying. Elijah is. So how does this... I'm not seeing how this could possibly be true. If the king has his main camp here, anywhere, but then he got to go to get to the prophet, and he's got to send word back and forth. They're riding on horses. It doesn't take that long to do 10 miles or say 15 miles across Jordan. And the river, I'm thinking, is wider back then than now. This is over 2,400 years ago. But they knew how to make bridges. And if you're going to travel by army, you would make them no matter what, where you needed them. But they would have made them on this side. And there would have been an easy way to go down here for the king to go here. But that doesn't make any sense of all the other stories that I know. Now, see, now they're just a marauding band or a raiding party, a bunch of raiders. Now, if they're just a bunch of raiders, that does change the story. That means it's before they're in here. But that's still, they've got to come from this area to come in and raid. It doesn't make sense. Now, this is a different story. Some of this I've already got. Well, I don't think this is true. That they didn't eat donkeys. But the thing here is they couldn't besiege it. They could surround it. I guess that would be besieging. This is not true. Oh, this is where they're going to eat their children. No. No, this is not going to be put into the text. And if it's an animal that they're eating, there's enough food on there that they wouldn't do this tomorrow. Sometimes they got too much oversalted words in the text. But the story is a long one. So this has got to be a story. But a lot of this doesn't mean it's true here. But this story is not true. If this is going with the other story about Elijah, he's by Samara is where the last story was coming from. See here, he is by and surrounded his house. But, well, and why wouldn't they just stick their men in? Why would they have to? But all of a sudden, I can't get this to be a 3-verse or a 4-verse or divided into 3-verse. can't really remove anything for a 4 verse. And I have been replacing and putting their name in, but I've been replacing all that text, word to, and then the king's name. Where the Armenians are there. That is by this place. Telling him to beware that you do not pass by this place where the Armenians are there. So that would mean that's a 4 verse. And this, I'm going to have to say it's Elijah. Sent his attendant. And then if I put his name here, and those fuchsia color words are from the 1977 NSAB when they added text. So that's all that's what the coloring of the word is. To, and I was going to say his name is Aziz, I think. This would be, if they were writing, it would be our king. This becomes blue. And this is separated here. Get his name from up here. This place has to be see, but that is actually a 4 verse. Because if I use the words this place, if I was to say it's a city or an end of the river, or it had to be this place for the Armenians are there. That means all this is a 4-verse. Now, if I could divide it like this, get rid of this. I think I had to add the word attendant, so I better remember because I didn't put attendant. As attendant to the king. Well, they'd have to know it's the king. Telling him to beware that you do not buy this place. Now that would make this a group here, 3-verse. I mean, here, here. Road. This is and here by the road are the places. Oops, are the places we we will ambush. If I put this guy's name in here, I'm adding this. This is the last verse here. By the road is place. We will ambush him. Okay. Now, boy, that some struggle trying to get the beginning of this one. But now it is a 3-verse, and it makes sense with a 3-verse like this. So, since I do not pass this place where the Armenians will come, are there. Sent to that place. Oh, this is not making sense now. To learn if they were there. Yep, they are there. This doesn't make any sense. They weren't there, they are there. Okay, now that being said, um, he told him what? He told him this. This, I guess, don't mean it's he avoided the place. Put that in here for him to avoid place. But to see that he doesn't know that that happened. He would have to say he's enraged because he's not passed by there anymore after he sets up the ambush. So this doesn't make any sense here. And this king's name is missing, so whatever this king's name is going to be. Uh, um, now this king's name was enraged that I did not pass by any more. Add all this. Whatever they had here is actually this here. So he asked his captains, which of you is for the king of Israel? Question mark. Captains. It's that. Well, I copied too much, but this. His captains replied, no, he answered. This is an answer. He's telling them who and what, so it's an answer. So this must be answered. Not from us. My Lord and King, Elisha, their prophet. It was each of their prophet who tells the king for Israel, told the king of Israel. Now this I'm going to put down low here, because this guy was healed from his leprosy. So if they're coming back and battling now, I need his name here. If this goes before then this is wrong. That's just one. So that's a reminder more for me than anything else right now. Because how do you know his name? How do you know his prophet would only be by this guy right here, knowing him? Which is the last story. So then this, it means after. This is after. If the story is continuing, this word is after. Aram was battling Israel. This is where the king's name is at. That's the name for the king where he's at. You're expected to know some of these things if you lived at that time. So after I guess I should put it in here. Okay, after this was battling with Israel, was battling with Israel, and he consulted with his captains. Now that would make sense if the king's name was here. And this would have been the king that sent the letter to this guy that I'm talking about. And then this story would be in order. But this might not be the king. Could be, though. Oh man, boy, just had a flash in my mind where this is going. Elijah was sent to tell was going to Damascus, sent by our Creator. And this was at the time of Ahab. Let me see. Where's King's timeline? Down here. Well, I think it's. I think it's going to have to be sent to this guy here, who kills his father because his father is ill, and he hears Elijah is coming to him, so he sends his son. Elijah, the story goes that he tells him that he's going to be the king of Aram, and then he goes and kills his father by wetting a cloth and smothering him in his bed. So it has to be this king now. And I'm going to have to put it like this. Or he did not pass by anymore. Okay. So now the only thing is Elijah. Is it Elijah or Elijah? Here the story is saying it's Elijah. That's why I've got him in here. But I think it's going to be Elijah. But this has got to be the king because the story has got to follow what I know. This one is supposed to be out. That's my little mind just ticking away up here as I'm going, trying to remember everything. Yeah. And it was, but no, it has to be Elijah because it has to be this guy. It has to be this guy. Because if the story is following, and I'm adding his name here. Okay. Phew. Does it make all sense when I'm done? Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm just hoping that when I do mesh all these different stories together in the correct order, this falls in line where it's supposed to. Maybe it falls right here. So he said, go and go and find, no, find where he is. But he would know. But he doesn't know he knows where he's at. So he would be just saying, go and find him. So go and find where he is. That I may send you to bring him to me. Oops. That I send that I send you to bring him to me. Okay. Now he's going to tell him where he's at. Then he told him where. And he sent him with horse riders. Whoops, I need another verse. They came in the night. And surrounded his home. And I know his attendant's name, so this is not making sense that the writer would not know his name. Oh, where's his name? See, this is the guy I'm talking about here that was just healed of leprosy. So this would follow this story in the correct order then. And when went out to pee, I'll put it in. He saw riders circling his home. He told Elisha, so this is needed. He saw the riders, and he told Elisha, what will we do? Now that makes more sense than whatever they had here. Alas, my master, what will we do? Well, Elisha answered, do not fear, for who with us? More than those who are with him. Well, he doesn't know who him is. For angels are with us. But this doesn't need to be said. asked Wivey. His eyes. And Wivey opened. But if he sees angels, then how is he going to get? Oh, this is a new attendant. I don't know his name. He's got proof. If the story is in the wrong, I can't have his name here. I don't know who his attendant is now. So we don't know who his attendant is. They took his name out. So the angels. Then I'm going to have to do like this. No, I gotta say, I'm gonna need this. Yes, Wivey. You can't strike. You cause. To cause blindness. So Wivey. his words, and we have to just understand that we're talking about Elijah here. The male you seek. Now this means that this somewhere in here he is not here. He is in the city, is not here, nor are you in the city. So, nor thinking that's how he would say it. He is not here, nor are you in his city. Follow me, and I'll bring you to the male whom you seek. And he brought them to Samaria. It happened when they had come into Samaria. Asked, nice, and they now see see, why they opened their eyes and they saw, and knew okay. Then I, whoops, And after they had eaten and got all drunk, he sent them away. And they did not come again. So there's that king, real good. Okay, I got the right king then if this story is right. Okay, now let's see here. They did not come or they had stopped fighting. This is not going to be in here because it's all about them doing this, eating each other, and that's because there's no message here. This is evil from YV. Why should I wait for YV any longer? That doesn't make any sense. But, okay, so this does have to come in here. There has to be. And for Israel. I don't think I need this. After this, That would be a 4 verse, or if I add this, then it becomes, no, it's still a 4 verse. That's there. This is out, and this word is this. This happened. He gathered his army. Okay, that still didn't get to be 4 verses. Okay. This happened after he returned. He gathered his army. Oops. Into Israel. And surrounded Samaria. Okay, now that sounds like it's right now. Boy, that was. Oh, I don't think some of them have been this rough. They're usually easier to figure out. Maybe it's just the day that I'm here on that's giving me this problem. It's only 6 o'clock. He has to be walking, not passing by. Well, this word is right. I don't need this. Now this automatically makes this a 4 verse. This would be a changing of the story if it's right, if I got this right. And I'm not going to be having them arguing about, so I'm going to use me here. Help me, my Lord and King. Now, what we don't have is this besieging that they're hungry, that the surprising of them surrounding, they didn't have enough food on the inside. A woman cried out to him, saying, help. Got that in the wrong spot. Help me, my Lord and King. But he said, if YV does not help us, and I help you. Oops. And this don't need. After. King. For his rule. Three. This does need to be said. Declared. will not remain by night. Remain on him by night. This, I don't think it has to be anything here. He didn't kill his father. He was in war, so he wants to take my. He wouldn't shut him away. He wants him there because he's going to tell him what's going to happen to the end. So this can't be true, but it's got to be. He sent his messenger to him. This can't be said if I'm not saying this. This is not true if this is happening. This, oh, I get rid of all this. He sent his messenger. So he sent his messenger to Elijah, saying, asking, if I've got this right here. I'm not sure here. I don't think I need this word. Maybe I do. Is this evil? Is this from I'm thinking this is a question. Trying to wait any longer. Now this I got as a 3 verse. Put these back up. There's YVC this. Don't need this then. Now it's just this here word. So he sent his messenger to Elijah asking, does YVC is I gotta say that this is out. Is YVC this distress? Or am I to wait from YV any longer? That might be the answer. But that's enough for right now before because I got to read this a little bit more to make sure it flows right. So there might be editing on the next group. But right now, oops. This is done. And I got to get into 7 here next. Oops. Somehow just didn't get all this in here. This was all supposed to, so I guess I'll do it again. Oh, when I got a line like this, that's what it is. When I get a line like that, it stops the macro from working before, because I forgot to add that line when I'm doing that macro. But it took me so long to make this thing. I mean, it was a problem. They don't like all the commands, and you got to do it one in order, or they don't like the order that you give it to them. The program doesn't like the order. That's got to be a 3-verse. Let me go up at the top here and start again. Okay. Need one space here. This I need cleaned up. This would be here. This is 2. This is 1. This is 2. This is supposed to be 1. This is 2. This is 2. And this is going to be 2. 2. 1. 2. It looks pretty good as the grouping so far, so. Now the next story is going to go here, so I'll probably end up getting rid of them break lines pretty quick. But that is the text for what's going on right now in that chapter. And it looks like I don't have a missing verses either. But that's all for right now, and need a break.